what did you really want to get, like, achieve from writing it? And how, given that this was a little while ago, that, like, how did your expectations kind of match up from what you were expecting at the start and how you've ended up afterwards?
Yeah. The reason that question's kind of difficult to answer is if I had my time again, I think I would be clearer when I set into the book of exactly what I wanted to change once I had written it.
Yeah.
So I think in reflection, this book was really about me. Part of it is proving to myself I could write a book, knowing I wanted to write a book. But the threads, the path towards that book, Work With Me, that you held up a minute ago, the path to that for 24 months, I think it was only really the last 6 to 9 months that it was clear that that's the book I was actually going to write.
Mm.
Because there were so many different possibilities for me. And so why did I choose to write the book Work With Me? Why did I choose to write the book that was all about how to get people to buy into your ideas, of all the things I could have written about? I think for me it was because it was what I knew well. It was what I had spent a lot of time already working with clients on, and I wanted to crystallize it and kind of package it, formalize it and say, this is it. But I didn't have a really strong strategic vision of, okay, and once I've done that, here's what's going to happen with it.
Mm.
I had little snippets in my head. I had like, maybe I'll have a whole bunch of keynotes that I'll run off the back of this, or maybe I'll create an online course, or maybe I'll run a training business where I'll have so many people who want to run training on that I'll have a whole suite of trainers running it, and it'll be a big leveraged model and maybe even licensed stuff. But actually, that's not necessarily what happened, because what did happen was the book itself was enough of an achievement for me, but also enough of a signal to the market that that I was leveling up in a sense.
Mm.
I was stepping into the conviction. I was not, if a decade earlier I had been a trainer and a consultant, I was now an author, and an author meant that I was also putting myself out there as someone who wanted to lead thinking on a topic. And that led to a whole influx of work and refreshed relationships. And so I got really busy off the back of it.
Mm.
But it wasn't a whole bunch of workshops or sessions called Work With Me. It was a whole bunch of work. So it's a hard question to answer because there was no A to B straight line.
So would you do that differently the next time, do you think? Has it given you that point where you think that you would potentially be a bit more strategic about why? Like how would you do things differently next time?
I would do it differently next time, but I probably, in honesty, I don't think I would if I went back in my time machine. I'm not sure I would do it differently the first time. And you and I are talking about that. I think now that I reflect on it, I think that's actually a really good reason. When you're already really busy and you've already got a lot of ideas going, a really good reason to write a book is to distill it all down and go, okay, folks, you're all benefiting and enjoying the work I do. Let me now try and capture a whole chunk of it here. But what that now is let me do, and it probably took a year out from publishing. So we're now getting close to 2 years since publish. It's allowed me over the course of that journey to go, why did I write that book? And actually to go, because I think the whole notion of creating buy-in is absolutely foundational to everything I do. So my whole philosophy and angle and passion is around collaborative leadership, inclusive leadership, leading from a place of the great ideas that you and your team can create, not from your big L leadership, as I call it, that you're coming at it from a place of authority. So with that in mind, I totally see why I wrote that book. Mm. But now I'm ready for my next book to be much more around, all right, so where do I want to go to with that now?
Yeah.
So I don't know, it's almost like a kind of maturing, isn't it, too, of your own ideas.
Yeah, and we spoke about it's like that step by step, like you wouldn't be where you're at now unless you've taken that first step by doing that book.